Hi. Have you asked yourself where you want to be in the next 15 years? Perhaps you've asked yourself where you want to be in the next 30 years. Well, those were the questions that I asked myself this past year when I had to decide whether it was time to stop renting and to buy real estate. Well, I'm here to tell you that 2021 is a year where there's no better time to stop renting, stop wasting your money, and buy real estate if you're a first-time home buyer. Now, there were many factors that came into consideration when it came to purchasing my first property. One of the biggest factors was relocating down here to the South Florida area. As most of you who live in the area may know, rents have become increasingly expensive. On a year-to-year basis, you're looking at a rent increase from anywhere between 3 to 5% to as high as 7% on an annual lease. Now, over the course of time, whether that's 5 and 10 years, that adds to a substantial amount that I felt at this point in time could be used to purchase my first residence. Now, another key factor that came to purchasing my first property was the current state of interest rates. Now, if we look, interest rates are currently at a historic low. Looking at a 15 to 30 year fixed rate, based on your credit, you could qualify for a rate as low as 2.5, 2.9% annual APR on a 30-year fixed rate. On average, you're probably looking at about 3% APR, annual percentage rate, on a long-term fixed rate mortgage. Now, another factor that I had to look at was the long-term financial scenario of renting versus buying. Now, if we look at a 15-year fixed rate scenario of owning a residence versus renting, we see here that over the course of 15 years, taking into account a scenario of a property that's about $300,000 with a first-time home buyer annual percentage rate of roughly about 2.529%. Again, this could be about, on average, 3%, and with a down payment of about 5%. You're looking at a projected 15-year savings of about $41,635, and that's owning a property versus renting. Now, when you start to look at the long term and look at the 30-year scenario of renting versus owning, it becomes even more substantial of a financial cost-saving benefit. Now, on a 30-year scenario, we're looking at approximately $87,928 that you're able to save. Again, this is taking into account a fixed-rate mortgage with roughly about a 5% down payment on average $300,000 residence in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. So as you can see, looking at both 15-year scenario and a 30-year scenario, I personally felt that there was no better time to buy, and I feel that for anybody out there, this is a great time to make that decision. Stop wasting your money and purchase your first real estate property. Now, looking at other factors, going back to, again, the current market here in Fort Lauderdale, the average rental market here just became too astronomical. Looking at the top 15 neighborhoods here in the greater Fort Lauderdale area, you see just how expensive it's become, ranging from anywhere between $2,200 to $2,500 average rent. A lot of new construction going on, a lot of new people moving here. It's become a very desirable destination, especially people escaping the Northeast and last year's COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the greatest factors that I personally found with home ownership and that I feel would be beneficial to everybody is long-term stability. Again, you're looking at long-term financial stability where you're building equity. You're also passing an actual real estate generationally to family members. Community, you get a chance to be part of a greater community. And more importantly than anything, it provides personal stability. You don't have to worry about having to move or your landlord selling your place. Now, what can you do at the current time? The best thing is to take action. Work on your credit. Make sure that your credit is up to par, ideally over 730, so you get an excellent annual percentage rate. Pre-qualify for a mortgage. Work with a local real estate broker. And more importantly, don't wait. Act now before it's too late.